Hey people, John V again here from PhoneArena. You're watching our video comparison between the Motorola DROID 4 and the DROID RAZR MAXX, both for Verizon Wireless. They sport very similar specs under the hood, such as their dual-core processors, 4G LTE connectivity, but they have their own specific aspects that make them unique. The DROID 4 has the QWERTY keyboard, while the DROID RAZR MAXX has the longevity and the battery life department. They're priced very similar to one another. We'll find out which is the perfect device for you. Clearly, you can tell that both handsets utilize the same design characteristics with their tapered corners, but that's where the similarities all end. Just because as soon as you look at their profile view, you can tell that the DROID 4 is considerably thicker than the DROID RAZR MAXX. But then again, you do get the benefits of that physical keyboard. Beyond that, the DROID 4 is also heavier. You did not definitely notice the weight more than the DROID RAZR MAXX. But nevertheless, we do like their solid construction all around. They feel both sturdy. But if we had to pick, we'd choose the DROID RAZR MAXX just because it's more polished, it's sleeker, lighter, and also utilizes better choice of materials. You have the Kevlar back cover, stainless interior core, and all culminates to just one fine-looking handset. Without a doubt, the Motorola DROID RAZR MAXX's display is by far the better looking between the two. You can tell right off the bat here, it just produces the punchier looking colors between the two. It's a 4.3-inch Super AMOLED display on the DROID RAZR MAXX versus a 4-inch standard LCD panel on the DROID 4. They both have QHD resolution. They utilize the Pentel matrix arrangement. Still sharp looking though. Fine text is not a problem with either device. But when you look at their color production, their contrast level, by far the DROID RAZR MAXX's Super AMOLED display is the better one to look at. Punchier looking colors, better viewing angles, higher contrast. It all culminates to the better display. When it comes to ports, the two handsets boast the same exact things. You have the micro USB port and also micro HDMI out ports, so you get video out, and on the DROID RAZR MAXX it's on the top edge, while it's found on the left edge of the DROID 4. We actually prefer the dedicated power button of the DROID RAZR MAXX just because it's a little bit more pronounced than the DROID 4. Conversely though, the DROID 4's volume rocker is a little bit better in feel just because the DROID RAZR MAXX, it's rather flat to the touch. With their capacitive Android buttons, we really didn't have any issues using either device. Meanwhile, above their displays, they feature the same 1.3 megapixel front-facing cameras. Similarly, they both have the same 8 megapixel autofocus cameras with a single LED flash, and they both have the ability to shoot 1080p videos. Interestingly enough, both handsets have non-removable batteries, but with the DROID 4, you can remove the back cover. Once you have it off, you gain access to its micro SD card slot and the micro SIM card slot, which is a little bit inconvenient versus just the slot mechanism in play with the DROID RAZR MAXX. Well, as you can probably tell, both handsets offer the same exact customized Android experience. Nothing different about either of them. It's the latest version of the Motor Blur interface running on top of Android 2.3 Gingerbread. So you still have all the same presentation, layouts, and also widgets available with both devices. A lot of neat looking 3D effects and also transitions, making it very spiffy looking, but there's nothing different about them. Furthermore, they're powered by the same exact processor. It's the dual-core 1.2 GHz TI OMAP 4430 processor, and they're coupled with 1 GB of RAM, so the performance is equally the same. Nothing different about them. They managed to maintain a really good responsive movement, even with processor-intensive things like the live wallpaper. But we do also notice that they still exhibit the same exact choppy gestures with pinch zooming in the gallery, which is a little bit strange, but nevertheless, other basic tasks, it's pretty much instantaneous. As we mentioned already, if you're into texting a lot, you probably want to stick with the DROID 4 just because of its phenomenal physical keyboard. But as far as their on-screen options are concerned, they're both going to be the same, but you just get a little bit more space with the DROID RAZR MAXX because of its larger display, but they still offer the same responsiveness when you're typing up long passages of text. But either way, the best option is by far the DROID 4's physical input. Yet another thing they share that's phenomenal is 4G LTE connectivity, so you get fast data speeds. As far as the web browsing performance, they're exactly the same. You could tell just the movement, navigational controls, very responsive, pinch gestures are nice and smooth, and doesn't really stutter that much in the wake of Flash content. Handles it very well, and all in all, both devices are great in that aspect. Well, the music players are the same, of course, so there's nothing different about them. As far as the audio quality, the Motorola DROID 4 speaker just seems to be a little bit more potent versus the DROID RAZR MAXX. They're still very loud, but with just a little bit more volume out of the DROID 4. So above we have the Droid RAZR MAXX and the bottom the Droid 4. They're playing the same exact video, which is encoded in DivX 1920 by 1080 resolution. As you can tell, they're moving very fluidly, barely any lag or slowdown whatsoever. But between the two, we have to pick the Droid RAZR MAXX on this one, just because of its Super AMOLED display. It's just a lot more pleasing to the eyes. So now we're checking out the photo samples taken by their 8-megapixel cameras, the top being Droid RAZR MAXX, the bottom being the Droid 4. Now even though we're looking at the images here on the handset, you'll just notice that the Droid 4's images look a little bit pale in comparison to the ones in Droid RAZR MAXX, but when we check them out on the computer, the results are absolutely the same. They're not the best looking photos of any smartphone out there, just because you tend to notice a very prominent bluish tinge to their overall looks. Details aren't the best, and in low lighting conditions, there's just a lot of graininess, but both their qualities are absolutely the same. At the same time, their 1080p high-definition video quality is absolutely the same. Nothing different about them, except for the fact that the Droid 4's audio recording sounds a little bit more distorted than the Droid RAZR MAXX's, but you still have the same 29 frames per second capture rate, the bluish tinge to its overall colors, and on top of that, details are rather indistinct. The slight advantage has to go to the Droid 4 when it comes to calling quality, just because on both ends of the line, voices are clear and distinctive, no background noise or any static, whereas on the Droid RAZR MAXX, its earpiece, voices have a little bit of choppiness to them, and on top of that, the Droid 4's speakerphone is stronger volume versus the Droid RAZR MAXX. However, when it comes to battery life, there's no arguing about it. If that's more your kind of thing, the Droid RAZR MAXX is by far the device you want to go with, just because its battery life is impeccable, easily the benchmark out of all the smartphones out there. So let's get the obvious out of the way. The Droid 4 is definitely the device you want to stick with. You're into messaging more than anything, just because of its fantastic keyboard, easily one of the best out there in the market. Whereas on the Droid RAZR MAXX, what you do get is just such a generous battery life, a benchmarker in many ways. But ultimately, it's going to come down to pricing. That's going to be a key differentiator for many people. It's $200 for the Droid 4 versus $300 for the Droid RAZR MAXX. As we've seen, they perform very similar in various key aspects. They have the same processor, both offer 4G LTE connectivity, and they have the same customized Android experience. So nothing different between the two in that aspect. But ultimately, you know, if you're talking about wow factor, the Droid RAZR MAXX has that a lot more than the Droid 4, just because of its impeccable design, its choice of materials, and that lovely looking Super AMOLED advanced display stands out right from the get-go. So ultimately, it does have the better wow factor than the Droid 4. So if you'd like to learn more about either handsets, you can check out our website, guys, PhoneArena.com. This is John V. As always, till next time.